All right. I want to welcome everyone to our elevation call with Team Unlimited. Myself, Lisa Bell Henson.
And Hal
And
Henson.
formerly the only international skincare model. Now he shares that title with Eric Wieland.
That's right, I do. And he's doing better than me. He's very, very good.
He works harder at it.
He's great. Y'all haven't seen Eric and Kristen's video. I don't know how you can see it. Do we have it? How do we have
It's
it?
Facebook Live, guys. You have to friend them on
You have to
Facebook.
friend them, see.
They just did a fantastic job.
And it's not their first run at this either. I mean, they did another one, and Eric's getting better and better. They both look great.
They do. And so this is Elevation Call. Today is the 21st of February, one of the coldest weeks of my life, but we're super grateful. The temperature now in Arkansas is over 45, at least it was today. And Elevation Call, we talk about this 4 things: elevate your business, advance in rank, improve your mindset, accelerate personal growth. Those are the 4 goals for this call. Mm-hmm. And we usually start by just saying, we recognize people who are really making an impact, accelerating their rank and their volume through recognition on the leaderboard. So Hal, why don't you talk about that?
So on the leaderboard, I asked Lisa, I said, did you look up the leaderboard for today so we can announce that? She goes, I sure did. Come over here and look. And guess who we saw? I was like, Cynthia Wiggins, of course, at number 18. And then she goes, and look who's number 12. It's Hal and Lisa Bell Henson. And I'm like, oh, we're back on the leaderboard. So, we were stuck here at the house. So I guess it was time to work.
That's right, by gosh. There's nowhere else we were going except just being on Zooms, being on the phone.
I will say, though, that we didn't have that many enrollments, but with each enrollment, I think pretty much they were all with bonus product, every one, right?
Absolutely, you guys.
So that helps on the leaderboard because it's about volume as well as the number of enrollments. But just handling that properly without trying to upsell, but if you go into it explaining very briefly the impact of our ultracell and ultra CBG together impacting the CB1 and CB2 receptors is really what we're doing to balance health and to help our bodies restore itself. And so a basic message of that in conversation, in presentations. And then, of course, we offer people the opportunity to improve their skin care, take care of their skin, give their skin nutrition and nourishment. And Lisa does a great job of that. And so, what we have found, I think, in the last month is that some people want to try the Lachey, and some without our ultracell CBD and CBG, and then others like, let me just start with the CBD, CBG, get that started, and then I'll possibly, if that works well for me, if I notice, then I might come back on the skincare. And the price points, as you all know, is very different on those. And so anyway, but Lisa's done a really good job with that. And so from our perspective, that's kind of how we got back up on the leaderboard.
We're doing a lot of stimulus packs just because people really want to try product. And one of the things we really teach is that we are really in the business of creating and retaining new volume. And whether that comes to the stimulus pack, a bronze pack, or a gold pack, sometimes I feel like stimulus is an easier, less resistant way just to introduce people to product that they will. I always tell them I want 90-day commitment from you. And so we know that we're signing them up with auto ships, which again does create residual income. But one of the new people that we enrolled asked me if we had a franchise agreement. And it really got me thinking. I'm like, we've got several documents. We've done a leadership letter. We've done activate and expand your network. And so this week, you'll see on your screen that I put together a combination of all the documents that we have done over time. And it's really kind of a franchise training guide, if you will. And you're looking at just the front page of it right now, just our mission statement and what we do simply.
So Lisa, I think we're not going to take much time on this tonight at all, guys, because we have a very special training treat. But the only reason I personally knew anything about a quote franchise agreement is that having been in the real estate business for 8 years in the 90s, in the late 90s, I decided to open my own real estate office and purchased a franchise, an actual franchise that I own. And there was a franchise agreement. And part of that agreement on my part was I will do these things to do my best to make this, my ownership of this franchise, do well. In return, this is kind of what the franchise expected of me to kind of do to represent the franchise and the company.
Absolutely.
And so when she said, hey, I had this person, this new ambassador, ask me what our franchise agreement was, I reflected on that, but I knew that we kind of didn't really have one with our team. And so Lisa got right on that.
We got on it.
So break that down just for a second. I mean, like 1 minute, what is a franchise? I mean, really,
Well,
what does it do?
What it really does is it helps create duplication. It helps people shorten their learning curve so that they can jump in and they can really kind of wrap their head around why we're doing this, what we're doing, and how we do it. And so that's kind of what we have on the screen. And because you guys are all part of our core team, if you have any interest in just kind of looking at a draft, I'd love to get your comments on it. You can text me your email address and I can shoot that to you. But this is by no means finished. I don't know if it'll ever be finished, but I wanted to put something in your hands that would help us really leverage the 3+ years of experience that we have so that people can jump in and they can say, hey, really all I want to do is use product, or hey, I really want to build this business. How do I go about, what's BV, and how do I go about thinking about this binary system? So it's the questions that we've all had. It's really a document to help people that are serious understand how to build it. So that's kind of what we did. And Susan won. She was the first person to text me, Susan Everett. So anyway, this is, you can text me your email address if you want to read it. I really do appreciate it just because it's kind of lengthy, and if there's things that we should cut, if there's things we should add, I'd love to have your feedback on that. But I'll tell you guys that our guest speakers tonight are people who we have invited to speak for many reasons. Many of you guys know Steve and Jenny Todd. They have been amazing regional ambassadors on our team, amazing friends of ours. We always say we weren't smart enough to recruit them ourselves, but we built a team of people who just locked arms with like-minded people, and they led us to Steve and Jenny Todd, specifically Judy Carver, specifically Linda and Jim Ferguson, and that's Linda's brother, Stephen Todd, just the amazing, beautiful people that they are. And Stephen Todd is a dentist, very high-level implantologist, but he also went back, he became a regenerative medicine specialist. And then in addition to that, he is a sleep medicine specialist, and he has never stopped expanding. He's just a great example. Both of them are of leaders who never stop learning. He went back and got advanced training. I'm going to have him tell you a little bit about that. So when we talk about the 4 things that we're doing on this call, one of the most important is helping prepare ourselves for the mindset it takes to go from being an employee to a high-level business owner / investor, somebody who is going to make an impact in the world, moving from a selfish point of view to a giving point of view. And nobody exemplifies this more than Steve and Jenny Todd. So Steve and Todd, I want to bring you guys to the line right now, and I'm going to also stop the screen share here. And we kind of rehearsed this earlier. I'm going to, are you guys there, Steve and Todd?
We're here. We're going to try to reverse the screen and put up the fire. We're going to try to hit the right buttons. You want to try it?
Let me find you guys first, because you're in a different place now. I'm going to try to see if I can make you host.
Bear with us, everybody.
Yeah, bear with us, you guys. This is kind of where it's, hang on just a second. See, I can't find your, where does it say that I can find you guys?
Well, on our screen, we're right next to you.
Yeah.
Dadgummit, man. It's like, I'm looking for screen share, and I'm looking for, I can't find where I can actually allow you guys to switch to host.
Is it in that place that has the 3 little dots, Lisa? Oh, you're on a Mac, isn't she?
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's still, it's
Zoom.
you guys, we actually went through this today. And, so funny because we wanted to practice and be flawless. And now I was like,
It's okay.
Stephen, see if you can share right now.
Okay.
I think there's one place where they request to be host and you just accept it.
Oh, I'm gonna put the burden on them.
There's Ed.
Okay, Ed.
Come on, Ed, bring it in here. Bring it, buddy.
Hang on a second. Steve, are you using Lachey?
Yes.
Dude, I can tell, man.
Doesn't he look amazing?
I'm serious.
Thank you. Yeah. Now this thing is different. I've been doing it different, so maybe I go the other way.
Look at this, man. This is sweet.
Thank you, Hal. It's very kind. No, I go the other way now. You told me tonight go the other way. I've been going this way.
Watch Eva's presentation. That's where I got it from Eric.
Okay.
Okay, you guys, with no further ado, Steve and Jenny Todd.
Do
All
they
right.
need to hide this? Do you want
No,
to-
I think they're fine. Yeah, go ahead. Again, I'm Steve Todd, Dr. Todd, and this is Jenny. And for y'all that don't know us, we're part of Jim and Linda and Hal and Lisa's team, and we're proud of that very much so. So with that being said, Jenny, want to say something?
I have just a couple of liners that I
Mhm.
want to say after this presentation. You know, Steve and I have been married for 43 years. We have 4 grown children. We have 11 grandchildren, and we just love each other just as much as we did when we were 15 years old when we started dating. And we're just so blessed to be part of this organization. The leadership that Lisa and Hal and Jim and Linda provide is just, it's just unbelievable. And people that love you and help you, all they want to do is for you to succeed. So I just tell you, just, you know, grab a hold to their coattails and just hang on. It's going to be a great
Absolutely.
ride. So I'll turn it over to Steve then.
Well, guys, tonight we're going to discuss what I call self-talk for self-esteem. And the reason this is so important is because most everybody trips over their own self most of the time. And with that, that's just a real issue in business building or even in life, right? And a lot of people, just to step back here, you know, a lot of people know how to set goals. I think Eva talked tonight a lot about goal setting and things like that. But why don't I achieve them? That's the question. Why do I know how to do it, but how come I don't do it? How come I don't achieve? And let's see here. There you go. Jenny will hit the right buttons. So for self-esteem, there are different terms: self-esteem, self-confidence, self-image, self-love, self-inspiring, self-care, self-mastery, self-worth, self-motivation, self-estimation. These are all words for that. Let me hit the button here. There are a few changes, guys, you can make in your life that are more helpful than an upward change in your self-esteem. Your self-esteem, let me move you guys out of the way just a little bit. Yeah. Your self-esteem, it just affects everything you do. And there's nothing about you that isn't affected by how you see yourself. Now, guys, a strong, healthy self-esteem helps you look at life in a positive, believing way. It helps you deal with life and its problems and come out on top. And the other kind of self-esteem, guys, the negative self-esteem, this causes you to doubt yourself and your abilities. It gives you a false and diminished picture of yourself, and it holds you back and allows life's challenges to overcome you. Perhaps worst of all, guys, in this is that negative self-esteem causes you to live your days and the years of your life without ever liking yourself as much as you should. So it keeps you from getting to know the wonderful person that you were born to be. Now, guys, when we talk about your self-esteem, there is a direct link between self-esteem and self-talk. And so much so that there's no longer sufficient to discuss self-esteem without also discussing self-talk in the same conversation. Now, your self-esteem and your self-talk are extremely tied together throughout life. And no matter where you've been in your life up till now, no matter how badly the world has treated you, guys, or how badly you may have treated you, if you are still here on this earth and still breathing, you can improve your self-esteem. So I want you everybody to believe and take heart. This is a battle you can win. Now, the real meaning of self-esteem, y'all, it's popularly thought that self-esteem means self-love and but it really doesn't. Self-esteem means self-estimation. And the word esteem is derived from the Latin word estimare, to estimate. And your self-esteem is the estimation of who you believe yourself to be. It is your mental appraisal of you. It's the personal, wired-in opinion you have of everything about you. Now, when someone says, I have a low self-esteem or self-image, guys, what they are really saying is, I underestimate myself, or I have a problem with the opinion of myself. And that's an accurate picture of what is really taking place. And it gets, guys, it gets right to the heart of the matter. Having low self-esteem is almost always the result of having an inaccurate opinion of yourself. And because of this, fixing your self-esteem is more about fixing your opinion of yourself than it is about fixing the self-imagined faults in your makeup. Now, let me illustrate this for you. I want you to think of someone you know who has low self-esteem. Your opinion of that person is almost always higher than the opinion the person has of himself or herself. And you can see their qualities, but they can't see them. And so it's not a lack of the qualities that's the problem, guys. It's the person's inability to see the problems, their problems. They have gotten in the bad habit of seeing their faults instead of their qualities. So can you have too much self-esteem? The first thought of that is that people think self-esteem means self-love. And they think that having too much self-love creates a kind of, I want to call it narcissistic self-centeredness. But you know now that's not what self-esteem means. They also argue that it assumes that self-esteem is sort of taught in a vacuum with no other positive qualities being developed along with it. So they believe incorrectly, people do, that praise leads to a person being selfish or egotistical or unrealistic and unprepared to deal with life as it really is. But that's not how the development of self-esteem works. Guys, an integral part of developing healthy self-esteem are the values that are part of a positive self-esteem itself. Guys, values such as taking personal responsibility for yourself and showing genuine compassion for others, making good choices, exercising self-discipline, using manners, being mindful, and having balance in all things. That is not having too much self-esteem, guys. That is being a quality human being. Now, you are not your self-esteem. Unless, guys, your estimation of yourself is perfectly accurate, and in most cases, it never is. You are not your self-esteem, and your self-esteem is not you. They only seem to be one and the same, but they're not. There is the real, true you as you actually are. And in the case of low self-esteem, there is the negative, usually inaccurate picture of you that you imagined yourself to be. In fact, in all likelihood, your estimation of who you really are may be very different from who you really are, or who you can be if you choose to be. Now, it's a fact. People, you become most how you describe yourself the most. And you live up to or down to the image you create of yourself in your mind. And what creates this picture of yourself in your mind? What creates this picture of yourself that you carry in your mind? Guys, the number one source for the beliefs that you carry is your self-talk. Now, change how you see the world and how you view life. Change your language when you talk to yourself. Guys, remember, we become most what we think the most. Now, self-talk is playing a pivotal role directing role in every important area of your life. Your health, your relationships, your career, your income, your well-being, and most significantly, in forming your self-esteem. It is where your self-esteem is formed, that is where your future begins. Negative self-talk and low self-esteem. The ultimate, guys, creator of self-esteem is negative self-talk, and it's easy to spot. Think of this. There's so much of it. Nothing ever goes right for me. I am nobody. I look terrible. I am not good enough. Who would ever listen to me? That's impossible. Why even try? I can't do anything right. Leave it to me. I'll mess it up. I'm just not attractive. There is just no way. I can't handle this. I just know it won't work. That's easy for you to say. And it goes on and on and on. It enters, guys, and influences virtually every area of our lives. Have you ever said in the following? You know, the only luck is bad luck. I'm so clumsy. I'm so shy. I'm so stupid. I never know what to say. I never win at anything. I am just not cut out for that. I don't have the energy. I'm not up to it. This is the kind of language that directs millions of lives towards self-destructive self-esteem. When you even think these self-talk messages, even when they pass unnoticed through your mind, you are wiring your brain to make them true. You are wiring your brain to fail. Now, no one obviously tries to do this themselves. Of course, no one tries to do it. When you use negative self-talk, you are just repeating the messages that have been previously wired in your brain. So, believing in yourself is the first secret to success. Now, let's talk about self-esteem, self-talk, and your brain. A little bit of science. Neuroplasticity is the science of studying the brain and how it changes. It refers, guys, to the brain's ability to form new neural networks and connections based on new input. Now, this process takes place throughout your lifetime. We used to think that didn't even happen. New learning or experience changes the physical structure, the wiring of your brain. This is how stroke victims are treated, dyslexia, and other brain damage can improve. What you say and think changes the synaptic connections in your brain. These synaptic connections need these chemicals, AEA that we talk about, and 2AG to regulate themselves. And guys, ultrasound technology allows this bathing of the brain to occur. Your brain believes what it is told most. The brain plays back the strongest programs of what it is told most often, and it's deep in your brain. Guys, there is no actual truth to you. The brain presents messages as truth or fact, whether the messages are true or not. That's why you can believe in one political ideology completely, which our country just did, when the other half of the population, many millions of people, believe in the opposite political ideology. Through repetition, you generally vote on biases and not on qualifications. So ask yourself the question, are your programs helping you or hurting you? What you believe, everybody, is about anything is not a measure of its correctness. It's what you believe about anything is a measure of the programs that you have that support your belief. And this is also true of your self-esteem. Negative programs equal negative self-talk. And it is in negative and inaccurate programs that low self-esteem lives. So, neuroplasticity and repetition. Repetition creates retention. Every week, we do repetition, 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 because your brain will rewire, and your brain will rewire with increases of AEA and 2AG that assist these synaptic changes. Your subconscious mind, guys, is the endocannabinoid system, and the endocannabinoid system is your subconscious mind. So, but even if your programming of your brain is based on repetition, and if your own negative self-talk is negative and tells you that you don't even measure up, even with the addition of Ultracell CBD and CBG added, the predictable outcome is your false and limited picture of yourself. And remember, the strongest program always wins. So let's talk about how that works, because this is real science. So the two parts in front of your brain, the left prefrontal cortex is responsible for positive actions of your brain. The right prefrontal cortex is responsible for negative actions of the brain. The subconscious mind, in the study of neuroscience and the study of ECS science, demonstrates positive development of the left prefrontal cortex, that our thoughts are positive or negative can change the structure of the brain with the addition of cannabinoids. How important is that? So your subconscious mind, guys, makes about, without you even being aware of it, and a lot of people know this, about 90% of your mental programs are buried in your subconscious mind. And they're completely hidden from you. And if you program the directional computer of your own brain to send you in the wrong direction, your thoughts and actions will take you in the wrong direction, even if it's not where you want to go. Now, this is called pruning out bad programs, guys, and everybody knows what pruning is, I think. But the brain has a limited capacity. We don't have unlimited storage. And your brain is designed to delete the programs it no longer uses. Truly, it is use it or lose it. So out with the old and in with the new. Learn which messages you need to begin giving your brain to build your self-esteem. That's really important. So I'm going to give you a little quiz. This is just for you to ask your own self these questions. There are 15 areas in this little quiz. The first one is your personal appearance. How do you see yourself? That's an important measure of your self-esteem. Second is your intelligence. To some people, their personal intelligence defines them as an individual and plays a leading role in their self-esteem. The third is your relationships. How well do you get along with others? How well do you get along in intimate relationships? How well do you get along with groups? And to what degree do you see yourself as a leader or a follower? And how do you deal with people one-on-one? Fourth question, your attitude. Guys, the importance of your attitude cannot be overstated. It plays a vital role in how you view yourself, how you view the world you live in, and what you do about it each day. If your attitude's great, if it's average or down, your attitude reflects your self-esteem, and your self-esteem affects your attitude. Fifth, your health and fitness. How do you feel about your health and wealth? How you view it is super important to you. It will determine what you do about it, which is part of how you treat yourself, which is a direct result of how you feel about yourself. 6, your money and finances. Your financial well-being almost always follows financial identity. You will strive to only acquire what you strive to only acquire, what you see yourself as worth having. I call that a Steveism. 7, your energy and vitality. Your enthusiasm and the vitality you present to the world each day with Celeste. Each day you are in part governed by how you view yourself. Alive, strong, interested, and energetic. Or are you weak, hesitant, and unsure? Guys, your integrity, number 8, your integrity and honesty. And what you exhibit is the result of the importance to you and your level of self-worth. Number 9, your courage. Your courage and will are born of your inner strength, is born of your self-esteem. The greater your estimation of yourself, the more courage and will you'll have on your side. Number 10, your spirituality. Now, guys, this doesn't refer not so much to your religious beliefs, but rather to the level of your conviction that there is something greater than yourself and your personal relationship with a higher meaning in your life. Napoleon Hill called this cosmic energy. Number 11, your purpose. Some people define, guys, their whole entire lives by a sense of their purpose. Celeste talks about this in her presentation. It drives them, it energizes them, and spurs them on. People with low self-esteem often have trouble accepting a clear purpose in their lives because they have not yet accepted themselves as being significant enough to have one. Number 12, your discipline. How you view your success in managing your life, dealing with opportunities, issues, and demands, and getting things done. That's super important, self-discipline. Your achievement and how you view the value of your achievement is a reflection of the value you place on yourself achieving them. Strong self-esteem fosters a positive pride in accomplishment. Diminished self-esteem sees achievements as temporary, accidental, or undeserved. And 14, your personal potential. How you view your future potential is a property of how you view yourself. Your estimation of your potential as an individual is a direct reflection of your belief in yourself, which is a direct result of your self-esteem. And 15, finally, your overall quality as an individual, how you see yourself as successfully living up to the measure of the person that you were born to be. Now, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So what to do? Change your self-talk. Change your self-esteem. Monitor means listen to your current self-talk practicing. Monitor everything you say and edit everything you think for a minimum of the next 30 days. I call it being aware that you're aware. Humans can edit. We don't work on instinct. Edit means to immediately begin changing your conscious self-talk from bad to good. Stop anything you say that is negative. No negative waves, no negative vibes. One of my favorite movies is Kelly's Heroes, where Oddball, who's the tank commander, is always on Crapshoot because Crapshoot has negative waves, negative waves. I love that movie. What else to do? 3, listen means listen to self-talk. Listen to something that is positive for you. Learning self-talk by actively listening to it gives you the repetition necessary to wire your messages into your brain. Doing this is the same techniques you use when you learn a new language. You then have a choice in doing that and how your self-talk comes to you. Practice means to consciously work and monitoring and replacing, without exception, guys, any self-talk that works against you in any way. It has taken years for all of us to gather the negative programs we now have, but it doesn't take years to delete them. In the latest research, guys, in neuroscience and endocannabinoid science, it takes about 90 days to rewire your brain. Remember this, the brain in regenerative medicine, in my field especially, takes about 90 days to recycle itself. So it's almost the exact same time. Remember this, your brain wants to get rid of old programs, like I said earlier. If you're no longer using it, you lose it. So when you wire in new programs, which is what we do on the elevation call, you will replace your old programs and old circuitry, and you'll prune them out. Guys, you can do this. If you would like to have a better self-esteem, there is clearly something you can do about it. However, you decide to change your self-talk and rewire your brain with a more positive picture of you. And how much is it worth to you to go for it? What price will you pay for not working on your self-esteem? You were born to excel, and it is time to see the real you. I believe, guys, people come to accept and believe that there is nothing they can do about it. That's just life. They believe they have to accept what life sends them. You don't have to accept it. You have the right to see yourself as you choose, and your self-esteem is up to you. You have the right to know the very best you as you really are. You have the right to feel good about yourself and to know that you are a person of quality, the highest quality. Beginning now, you get to create the picture of you that you would like most to see. When you do, you will not be kidding yourself. You will be revealing the remarkable, valuable, quality person you really are. And guys, it is my heartfelt desire for every one of you to take the next step in this Celeste journey. So you deserve the very, very best. And you guys deserve it in so, so many ways. And I want to thank you for having me tonight. Appreciate it. Any questions? Susan, I'd like to have Susan comment. Susan works on her mindset a lot. She is an area ambassador in our organization. We're very, very proud of everybody in our organization. Susan lives a busy life. Susan, could you take a second and just comment on that, unconnect and comment?
Hey, good evening, everybody. Yep. Hi, I'm here. Yep. The work that Steve has been helping with about every week to every 2 weeks with our schedules is really helping me with determining how to achieve little steps, little goals. What I like about the program that he's helped me with is that he helps me identify what gets in my way of achieving those goals. And then within that, identifying what I need to do to get past those blockages. And so it's kind of neat because you get analysis paralysis sometimes. And so that really helps me simplify, and then I'm able to achieve things. It's helping me focus on committing to, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. It's helping me learn to say no and have better boundaries and control of my professional life, my personal life, my business, those type of things. In the mornings, I'm listening, and it's really exciting because it's changing my mindset and the things that I'm doing. But I listened to the Self-Talk Plus program, and he and I talked last week. And one of the things I was struggling with is it almost feels like a tug of war in my mind. And so there's times when I feel less focused, and it's because my mindset is changing. The way I'm thinking is changing. So it's weird because you have to do away with old thinking processes to accept and live the new thinking processes. So it's an exciting time in my life. I'm balancing a full-time practice. I've got 3 beautiful teenage children that are involved in a gazillion different sports and things. And then I have my Celeste business. And that the way the self-talk program and my self-esteem, and it's amazing because it's teaching me to take the steps to reach out to people and follow through. I think that's one of the things I work on. I was talking with Ed Keller about this. It's follow through. I reach out and make contact, but then it's making the second appointment and the follow through and making those phone calls and setting up those appointments. And so this program is really helping me with focus and my attitude. And I use the term my tone, so that I'm more uplifting and just more positive and working with people. So I appreciate this opportunity this evening, and it's really helping me grow in many different ways. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Susan. You know how, Lisa, it's just, I can't thank y'all enough for what y'all do for us. you know, y'all are the leaders of leaders. You really are. And, you know, I get sort of emotional when I talk about it. So I can't really talk about it that much, but I want everybody here to succeed so much. And as we all do, but it is a mindset, and Hal talks about it all the time. You know, it is a mindset. And guys, I hope that in some way that you guys gained a little bit from my small contribution here. Yeah, and just to let you know, I study a lot with Dr. Helmstetter and his philosophy, but I want you to know it's all up to you. It isn't up to what happened in the past. It's simply up to you now. And these two here provide us with the best leadership, as well as my sponsors, Jim and Linda Ferguson. So we have the leadership, guys, and a lot of places don't have that leadership. So with that, thank you guys.
I would like to just close this out with one comment. You know, Theodore Roosevelt stated that comparison is the thief of joy. And I think with social media, Facebook, it is so easy to compare ourselves to what we see on Facebook or whatnot. But you need to remind yourself that what you're seeing on social media, people are just showing you the great part of their life. They're not showing you the junk that's going on. Everybody on this screen has stuff that they deal with in their life. So you're not seeing a true representation of what everyone, how their life is when you look at things through social media. So I just want to just tell you again, comparison is the thief of joy. And then I would also like to leave you something. This is from Psalm 139. And if God did not want you to exist, you wouldn't be here. You are special. Everyone on this call is special. Everyone has what it takes. Everybody does. But just remember, if God did not want you to be here, we would not be here. You are you. You are special. God made you. You have everything you need to be successful in life and successful in this business. So thank you all so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
You guys are having us tearing up over here.
Not only that, that was just absolutely, of course, you guys, you know, I do a lot of my own personal in this area, and Steve, honestly, that was one of the best, most succinct presentations, and blending the science of the ECS with neuroplasticity and the function of the mind and thoughts and words. Absolutely wonderful, and such a great job. I mean, this was gold, guys. I'm telling you, you've got to, you know, we got to get a copy of this. You got to listen to it over and over again. But beyond that, your role now is to take this and to build upon it. Each of you, you have to build upon it and do your own work. But I'm telling you, this was gold tonight. And I mean, it's so good. And I'm not, Steve, I would tell you it was good, but I'm telling you, this tonight was gold for us, for every person on here. If you'll see it that way, invest in yourself now and build your stockpile with this.
One of the most empowering 30-minute overviews, because it really put the responsibility and the power in our own hands. Because I think most of us come to this platform with faulty programming. Mine was horrible. And, you know, layers upon layers of negative programming, culturally negative. And, you know, I really credit God and this platform, and Steve, and the training that you and Jenny did tonight. Could you recommend just one book that people should invest in?
You know, I read a lot of books, like Hal led me to reading a lot of books, and I do. You know, I think Dr. Helmstetter writes several good books. One is on Audible, and it's a Self-Talk Solution. It's a really good book. It's short, to the point. It just gives you a little background. It isn't, you know, it's just more mindset on self-talk. But there are a lot of, self-talk's been around a long time. It's not a new concept. I'm just trying to apply it to Zalise, trying to apply it to how it applies to our life, you know, what we're doing, because everybody here's in Zalise is in a life-changing situation here. They'll just get after it. So, you know, that's a good book that I like. What do you say when you talk to yourself is obviously his foundational book that started this program with him, but he's not the only one. Again, he's not the only author out there.
Susan's holding it up right now.
Thank you, Susan.
I mean, it's like, it's kind of a weird title, you know, it's like, what do you say to yourself when you talk to yourself? You know, what do you say when you talk to yourself? What? Oh, it's the title of a book.
Right.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
Well, and you can't overemphasize the importance. A lot of businesses have bricks and mortar that you can hide behind. This business is us, and it's 99% of it is what's between the two ears, and you're limited by your own programs. And so what an empowering, educational, and affirming.
Well, we can add to that, though. We say we're limited by our own programs, but like Steve said tonight, we are empowered by our own programs
to
as well.
overcome them.
So we're not limited only. We can empower our programming to create a different future. And
exactly.
we reprogram ourselves for
you know
that.
how one of the things that people say all the time that's counterproductive for their mindset, and they don't even know they say it. This is really, really common, is you'll say, unbelievable. What did you just say?
You can't believe, you're not going to believe
You
it.
can't believe it. It's so, and that's negative waves coming through you, telling your brain literally in a negative pathway, it's unbelievable. But when you talk about Zalise, and then you talk about being a diamond ambassador, and you say unbelievable, you just convince yourself it didn't come true, and you didn't even know it.
Power of words.
Wow. I'm telling you guys, this was gold. So I want to know what's in the water in the Todd household, because Jim and Linda 2 weeks ago, that's Linda Todd Ferguson and Steve and Todd and Jenny. There was something in the water growing up in y'all's house to get you guys to this point. But anyway, I mean, we've had 2 really great trainings that have come to us in the last month from you guys.
And you know,
really
you guys really demonstrate that positive self-talk and action creates volume. And I just want to commend you on the work you do on a daily basis, the consistency. You guys meet with us every week. You send us your action. Jenny, every Sunday, will send us her action reports of exactly what you guys are doing. And you guys are just leaders of leaders as well. And you inspire us greatly. So thank you for doing this.
We'll shut her down, see if there's any comments.
Yeah, well, I wanted to also.
I got a question.
Yes, yeah.
I got a comment. I've done a lot of computer programming over my engineering years and career. And there's a thing called GIGO, that's not the commercial, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. And what Steve was saying was just right on. You know, what we put in our brain gets in there and then it comes back out. And I think it's so neat that every so many days and weeks and years, our chemistry in our body reprograms. And why not just take advantage of that programming and just have the positive things out there to get it in there, because it's just, I mean, it's so true. And then the other part, and don't put me in the yeah kind of weird thing, but there's definitely an immeasurable amount of energy out of people's bodies. And you really pick up that positive energy so much. And believe it or not, we don't have scratch and sniff. I was talking to Steve the other day about that on our screen yet. But the Sunday night elevation call is a scratch and sniff. And thank you guys so much, because you guys are the extended family. And you know, whatever the week is and whatever's gone on, I look forward to the Sunday night. So thank you a whole lot. So scratch and sniff, here we go.
You're part of that, Ed, and everybody
Ed's fairly
on this call.
new. He's fairly new. He's been brought in by Susan Welch, and down there we met Ed when we were down there on the tour with Stephen, and he's been on board ever since. It took him a week to jump in. He had to do his analysis. You know, he had to do his garbage in, garbage out computer programming thing, I think, on this. But Ed has been faithful and to learn this program, to learn this business. Hasn't been your world necessarily before, but really great. And you always have good input, Ed, and we appreciate that.
And a great face, Ed. I'm liking your Lichet look.
Yeah, I've definitely have never done skincare before.
No.
How do you like it so far?
I really like it. I hate to say it, but I love it.
I'm the same way. I'm almost embarrassed to say how much I love this skincare.
Yeah. And my 93-year-old mom loves it, and she's out telling her sister and some other friends about it. So I actually did some product talk to them tonight and going to try to get them signed up this week up in Birmingham. So,
Right.
Hey, that's
you know,
awesome.
my mom has made this statement as well. What am I going to do when I'm 10 years younger? And I said, you know, you'll figure it out.
That is
That
fantastic.
is
Well,
good.
speaking of, we're looking at making a trip through Birmingham to Fort Walton Beach at the end of March,
Late
March, thanks to Susan Welch. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I wanted to just do one more shout out, and that's to Susan Ferry from Pennsylvania. And Susan, God bless her. She has such an amazing attitude, talking about positive self-talk. She did her first launch call. Susan, are you there? It's later on.
I am here.
She's there, Michaelette and Susan Ferry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I just wanted to say great job on your first launch call. Tell us, was it scary and hard?
It was both scary and hard and not hard. I don't know. I know that sounds like a contradiction, but so last Sunday I did ask everybody for just a tip to make my first call. And I appreciate it. I used many of the tips. I made my first call and found that I loved connecting with all the people that I hadn't talked to in years, and was grateful that the Zalise gave me a reason to call. So I've continued that. My first call, I think it went really well. Didn't pick up any converts yet, but I've got a little schedule, and I'm going to send stuff out. But it was really great, and I appreciate you on the call. You are a master.
Well, I thought you did a great job. She launched her own call. She welcomed everybody to the Zoom call that we did, and you know, you delivered your story very powerfully. And at the end, you took control of it. And you know, we set up for at least one person who might do stimulus. So I just wanted to give you a shout out for that.
Here's what I want to say. You
Thank
two, you and Mike. So y'all have never seen this, and many of the people on this call have never seen an actual live, like in-person live event, major function with Zalise. But I'm telling you, the two of you someday will be able to tell your stories of how you got up on the stage with Zalise. And I'm just telling you, you will. And it's a beautiful story. The way we met Mike, and we're not going to go into that tonight. We've talked a little bit about that, but it's just been a great and wonderful building relationship with you all in Pennsylvania, so far away from us. But had it not been for COVID, we probably would have never met.
Probably not.
And so, you know, when you think about some of the blessings that come through life-changing, seemingly negative things, when the mindset is right, you can truly turn anything into a good, even great thing. And I'm saying that, you know, about the two of you, I really believe that the world needs to hear your story because of your story, but also just how it all came about, even to this point. And so I'm really excited for y'all.
Absolutely. Great job. We're going to keep going. And we talk about launch calls in this new document. A couple of you guys texted me that you wanted to see this new kind of, it's really a training guide. Guys, it's not like a contract or anything like that. It's really just that would help people launch faster.
So one of the things that Lisa put on there, though, in the very beginning, some of you will recognize it. And she said, what do you think about this statement? You know, what we do is we help people feel better. We help people look better. We help people become better. And we help people do better. I mean, that's kind of what it boils down to. They feel better, look better, be better, and do better. And I said, you got to put that on something and send it out, you know, right? And so she made that a part of this document. And she just does it. Lisa's such a great leader. She just.
Well, thank you, Hal.
You just are.
But one of the questions that all of us get is, so what do you do? What do you do for a living? Like, what do you do? And I think if we can just say something creative that will allow us to connect that person and ask for referrals, if nothing less, then we take every opportunity to share that we help people feel better without drugs, look better with surgery. And who do you know that might be interested? I mean, it's a very easy thing to say, and it's very simple. So at a minimum, guys who sent me your email addresses, I have, feel free to give me a comment, and we're going to make an ultimate doc these days, but right now it's fluid. So any questions or comments before we close this down? Thank you guys for.
How this is Angela.
Angela.
Hey, I would be remiss if I didn't say something. I just want to say how fortunate I think we all are to have the quality of people that we have on our team. And very specifically tonight, Dr. Steve and Jenny, you two are awesome. And you give so freely and so willingly of yourselves and your time. And so does your sister and her husband. So I think we're just really fortunate to have the kind of people we have on our team.
And Angela, you look like you have 50-year-old skin, just saying.
They're not pretty.
You look great, Angela. So for those you don't know, that compliment and that statement came from Angela, who has a few days in this industry as far as the training of people, just like what Steve did tonight in a way. And so when she speaks of this, guys, Angela knows what she's talking about, probably more than any of the rest of us on this call. When she hears something like this and sees the value in it and speaks to it, she has years of this kind of work. So
How many years, Al?
you know what, Angela?
More than 10.
You may say, I don't know, but I can guess.
How many years, Angela?
I think it's over 40. How many?
60.
60 years.
In growth and development.
In growth and
coaching
personal development.
Yeah.
That's right.
So thank you for that, Angela. And Jenny, you and Steve, I hope you know how much we love you guys and appreciate you.
Hey, Lisa, this is Linda.
There's
Hey,
Linda.
Can I just say before
Hey.
you close? Listen, I'm just so, just almost overwhelmed listening to Steve and Jenny tonight. I've known them all my life, right? And Jenny and I kind of laugh because I've known Jenny since I was 7 years old when, she used to come over and she was dating Steve. And, to have a platform like what we have to continue to grow in our lives, regardless of our age, regardless of our success or lack thereof, if we feel that way. But to be in a position to just continue to grow beyond anything. We create our own boundaries and we can burst through those boundaries. And to hear Steve and Jenny, which, yes, accomplished in their life, but to continue to embrace personal growth and to be in the service of other people, it's just wonderful. And it's very humbling. And each of us need to know that we have that opportunity to reach to someone else. And it's so much more than CBD. I made a post a couple of weeks ago that said, if you think I'm selling CBD, you're not paying attention,
Right.
Because this is so much more. It has been for me and for Jim. It's so much more. And I'm just very thankful for tonight, for every Sunday night that we get to spend together. But Steve and Jenny, I'm so proud of you. You just know I am, but always have been, always will be. But I'm just so very thankful.
That's beautiful, Linda. What a great way to close this call.
Great way to close this
So
call.
thank you
That's
for
right.
that.
Thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording just because